Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to the NoDQ.com live predictions video for AEW Double or Nothing, which is this coming Saturday night. You can order the pay-per-view. It is traditional pay-per-view over on the Bleacher Report app. And if you are outside the United States, you can order it on Fight TV. Let me introduce the panel for our predictions video. First, good old Virtue, longtime No DQ contributor. How's it going, man? And on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you for this show? And also, will you be ordering it on pay-per-view?
Will I be ordering it, or will somebody be ordering it and I'll be viewing it? That's probably what will happen. I'm going to say a 6. You know, got Jericho Inner Circle. Mike Tyson's going to be there. So I'll raise it 1 above 50%. Well, about a 6 out of 10, I'm excited. Just because, I mean, they're not going to have crowd, right? It's just going to be the talent, like however they did the other stuff for Dynamite.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I wonder if they'll have people in the stadium for the Stadium Stampede. But we'll talk about that match here in just a few minutes. We got the Simple Man, Noah Foster, back with us again. He does the No DQ Predictions League and does all the graphics and everything for it. Noah, how's it going, man? How are you feeling about this show?
I'm doing well. As far as this show goes on a scale of 1 to 10, I will say this. Looking at this card versus last year's card, I'm not as emotionally invested or excited, but I am looking forward to this pay-per-view. I think I'm an 8, and I'm looking forward to what the Stampede will bring, Brodie Lee versus Jon Moxley, and the first ever TNT champion.
All right, and joining us here, a new face with the main panel, but he's part of NXT. We got the Cleaver, Colin Andrew. How's it going, man? How are you feeling about the show? And welcome.
Thank you very much. It's going good. I'm pretty excited for this pay-per-view. Like, I really, AEW is finally starting to weave its way into my head a little bit here. I've put up a wall with it for a while, and I'm starting to tear into it, but I'm probably at about a 7. I'm really intrigued to see what's going to happen with the Mike Tyson situation, because we remember what happened last time Mike Tyson was in a wrestling ring. And I'm trying to figure out who this 9th mystery opponent is. So it has me intrigued, especially with things that have gone on in the world of professional wrestling in the last week or so. So I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to be able to afford to buy it right off the rip, but if I can catch as many highlights as I can, you know, I will give praise where praise is due.
All right, let's go ahead and get started with the predictions. We'll be talking about the matches, and chat room, feel free to leave your thoughts on the matches as we go along here. I will be featuring some of the comments. Let's get started with the first match I have here, which is the buy-in, the kickoff for AEW. We have the Private Party versus the Best Friends. And we have our first super chat of the evening from Psycho Jet Black. He says with $2, Cleaver's beard is more over than the Forgotten Sons. I like it. Thank you for that.
Nice.
Psycho Jet Black, we appreciate it. All right, so AEW has the rankings system, and I believe Best Friends are pretty high up on that rankings list. Noah, maybe you can give me some more insight on this. They've been on a roll as of late, as of the start of the empty arena era of professional wrestling. They've been doing really well. They've been on TV on a regular basis. Private Party, they have not been on TV as much, though. So do you think we will see the momentum continue for the Best Friends, or do you think Private Party will pick up the victory here on the buy-in?
Well, considering that this is the number 1 contenders match for the AEW Tag Team Championships, currently held by Kenny Omega and Heyman Adam Page, who has been out indefinitely also, I feel like the Best Friends are going to continue the momentum. They're also currently ranked now number 2 on the rankings with a record of 6-3. Private Party, they're number 5 with a record of 3-1. Private Party, they have been involved a little bit, but primarily on Dark. But right now, I'm giving all the momentum with the tag team that has really benefited the most during these times and has given the most to the shows. I'm going with the Best Friends for the win.
All right. Virtue, agree or disagree with Noah's
I
assessment?
agree. Yeah, Best Friends are going to go over because they got that Orange Cassidy gimmick with him, right? He's going to do his thing, and they're going to push that to a tag team title match. And who knows, maybe they'll eventually win the tag team titles. And like I said, Orange Cassidy, to me, could be great as a manager that meddles into it. I believe that. I know he has the matches. I know people pop for it when he starts doing his thing. So, but him with these two guys, like kind of like a manager, I can dig that. So I think they're going to go over here. Private Party was hot right out of the AEW gates too. It's kind of like they fizzled out. I mean, we know what they can do, right? They're the flip flyers, but they could maybe win. But I don't know. Private Party not this time. I'm going to go with the Best Friends.
All right, and a few people in the chat room think that Private Party will win, and as you mentioned, Virtue, they haven't really done much as of late. They were hot at the beginning, so maybe they will pick up the victory here. I could see this going either way, but I'm going to go ahead and stick with what Noah and Virtue said. I'm going to pick the Best Friends to win this one. Cleaver, are you going to go against us, or are you with us?
No, we're all in agreement on that one. I really enjoyed the Best Friends performance this past week on Dynamite. I actually did watch it this afternoon, and I do like the Orange Cassidy thing with him. I think it's kind of a comical thing too, because he's just out there like just laying on the stage, just chilling, hands in his pockets, mask on, blah 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 blah. But I really think he could be a beneficiary in the match, so I'm going with Private Party. Or not Private Party, Best Friends.
Right.
Sorry.
Well, knowing how things go, we all pick the same outcome, and the opposite ends up happening. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next match we have, and this is an interesting one. And Noah, we usually do our tiebreakers, so I think we'll do it for this one. We have the Casino Ladder match with 8 participants in this match, and there's a mystery 9th participant. And for this match, it's going to be Royal Rumble style, where it will start with 2 people in the ring at one time. And then every 90 seconds, a new person will enter the match. The match can end at any time, which means it could just have 2 people in there, 3 people in there, and the match could end before everybody's out there. But my gut feeling is everybody will make their entrance in this match. Now, I forgot to pull up, for some reason the graphic does not have all 8 participants. So let me go ahead and pull this up real quick before we do the predictions on this. Okay, so I'm pulling up.
Covered.
I got the participants right here for the match. Okay, we have Darby Allin, Colt Cabana, Orange Cassidy, Rey Fenix, Scorpio Sky, Kip Sabian, Frankie Kazarian, Luchasaurus, and TBD. So Noah, what we'll do for this is everybody can have their first pick and their second pick. And then as a bonus, if it's a tie, we need a tiebreaker, who will be that mystery person? So you can give your mystery person as the bonus point. When who knows, the mystery person might be your prediction to win the whole thing. Adrian sent in a $5 super chat. He says, how fitting Brodie Lee is on a prediction video on AEW. All right, so Virtue, let's start with you on this one. Your first and second pick, and who do you think is going to be the mystery 9th person?
Is this the pre-show? Is this a pre-show match?
No, this is
Main
part of the
card?
main card. And remember, the winner gets a future AEW World Title match.
And there's a guaranteed mystery opponent that's going to be in there.
Correct.
Right? All right. So I want to say Luchasaurus is my top choice, and then Darby Allin's my second. I really want Darby Allin to win, but he just never gets those wins. So I'm going to stick with that to be safe. Mystery opponent, mystery guy to come in here, I actually think could win this, but I'm not going to choose that. Brian Cage. Makes his debut. The guy that used to be an Impact, the huge guy that can flip and fly. So I'm going to go with him. But I'm going Luchasaurus to win, Darby Allin second choice.
Interesting. Colin, what do you think about this one? What are your picks?
I'm going to pick Darby Allin because maybe they'll just finally give him, the chance to win. And my second pick is probably going to be the mystery man. I want to say Drew Gulak because it would be awesome, but I think that'd be fantastic to see Drew Gulak show up because he does not have a non-compete clause. He let his contract run out. He wants to do more than what he was. Hopefully we can get a PowerPoint presentation and some sweet technical wrestling from Drew Gulak. So that is going to be my second pick and my mystery opponent as well.
Yeah, guys in the chat room, keep in mind that a lot of the people that were released have the 90-day non-competes. So the only person that doesn't is Drew Gulak. So I think he's going to be the mystery guy. Like, I could see him showing up and being part of this. But as far as my predictions go, I'm actually going to agree with Virtue. Luchasaurus, I've been saying for the longest time, I want to see him get an opportunity. But I could see Darby Allin winning it, since there's a storyline brewing with him, and Taz is trying to take Darby Allin under his wing and that type of thing. So I think Darby has a legitimate shot of winning this. But Luchasaurus, I feel like, is legitimately the biggest star in this match. So that's why he's my number one pick. Noah, what are your thoughts?
Oh, jeez. I mean, Darby Allin has had so many opportunities to try and get the big win or go for the title, and everybody's always behind him. But he's also one of the most driven people in the company, I feel like. So I definitely want to put him as one of my picks. Luchasaurus, out of nowhere, definitely my favorite out of Jurassic Express, but I keep thinking about Bacon and maybe the collision between him. But I'm just going to say, because looking at the rest of the field right now and thinking about who could be facing the champion at any time between now and All Out, I am going to go with Darby Allin as my first. And as far as my second, that's the tricky part. I mean, hey, we're just spitballing here. Second, I'm going to go actually with Virtue on this one, because I think Brian Cage is a great idea. I've always wondered what happened to him ever since Hard to Kill. So, yeah, Darby Allin and Brian Cage for mystery as well.
All right, sounds good. Now we move on here to our next match, which is a women's division match. We have Dr. Britt Baker versus Chris Statlander. We'll start with you, Colin. Your thoughts on this match, and who do you think is going to build that all-important momentum for perhaps a future opportunity at the AEW Women's Championship?
I believe Dr. Britt Baker. I believe, last week when she took the glove out and was pretty much like mandible clawing Chris Statlander. You know what I mean? It was just a really cool moment. I've heard a lot of things going on with Britt Baker lately. And honestly, AEW's women division could use a definite push for sure, and another established star. So why not put it into her? Because she looks like she has everything that they need. Just pull the trigger.
All right, so Britt Baker's your pick. Virtue, what do you think?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Britt Baker. It seems like she gets a lot of TV time. She's getting promos. They're doing stuff from her dentist office. Heel, just the stuff she has going with Tony Schiavone on the mic. So I'm going to go with her, and we'll have to see what this leads to. But Statlander, to me, I haven't really seen much winning or anything out of her. She just kind of seems there when they need a wrestler to wrestle against, but that's about it. Where Britt Baker seems like one of the mainstays in the women's division right now. And plus, she's Adam Cole's girlfriend, fiance. So they're definitely going to want to push her, I mean, that's the NXT champion over there and the competitor. Let's push his, significant other over here. So,
all right, Noah.
Well, love is a battlefield. The thing is, Britt Baker, she won her match at AEW Revolution, was attacked. Chris Statlander, she was in a women's championship match at Revolution. She lost. Britt Baker, her record's 4-3. Chris is 3-3. This match honestly could go either way. But thinking about the angle and everything they're putting into her character, her and Tony working closely, I have to agree. I think Britt Baker is going to pull out the win here too.
I agree. I think Britt Baker will win this one. I think she's definitely the one that's got more momentum on her side at this point, and I think she could be a future contender for the title. Although anything's possible, you never know. We do have a heel champion right now. Big G just sent in a $10 super chat. Big Baller G says, Virtue, I got you, bro, for the pay-per-view. I'm ordering it. And then he asked me, is this going on the points for the league, yes or no? I was wondering if we should do it or not. The thing is, not everybody watches AEW, so I mean, we could do like a separate league for AEW, whoever wants to participate in it. But I know like not everybody in our group watches AEW religiously and follows along with it. So yeah, I'm not really sure if we're going to include it with the WWE one. We may keep them separate, one for WWE, one for AEW. That way it's fair. Because
Are they still doing this one Saturday night or is it Sunday?
It's Saturday. It's this Saturday
okay.
night in Jacksonville, Florida. All right, let's move on here to the next match, which, as I just mentioned, the Women's Championship for AEW. Nyla Rose defending against Hikaru Shida. And I'll go ahead and start with this one. I do not see a title change right away. I think Nyla Rose will retain the title and continue her run as champion. I mean, she hasn't been champion all that long, so I think she'll keep going for a while. There's no reason for her to drop the title right now. Noah, what are your thoughts on this one?
Well, Nyla Rose has already surpassed the inaugural champion at 134 days, and her record's 5-1. Hikaru Shida has been on fire, ranked number 1 with a record of 9-1 just this year alone. And I keep thinking about the idea of Britt Baker versus Hikaru Shida, because that seems like the brooding feud that's been going on lately too, and that possibly could be where this is leading. Based on the fact it's also no DQ and no countout, so in defeat, that could also protect the champion as well, and I can see her contend for the title. I'm going bold here and saying we get a new champion. I'm going with Hikaru Shida.
Oh, wow. Interesting. All right. We do have a $5 super chat here from Joe Goody, and he says, $50 is too steep for my blood. So it doesn't look like Joe Goody is going to be able to watch the show.
Well, it's not for Big Baller G, so.
There you go. All right, Virtue, your thoughts.
Nyla Rose is going to retain here. I could see Britt Baker get involved in this match and cost Shida. I really like Shida. I could see this turn into a triple threat for the title, a feud type deal down the road, which could be an easier way to get it off Nyla Rose if they want to do that. So, but for this very match here, Nyla Rose will retain.
All right, Colin.
I was also going to pick Nyla Rose to retain and say maybe since there is that feud brewing between Shida and Baker, maybe down the line we get another number 1 contenders match out of those two. Or like Virtue said, you could have the triple threat factor.
All right.
So
now we got another singles match. We have Jungle Boy one-on-one with MJF. Jungle Boy's been doing pretty well for himself, but as I've talked about before, I think MJF is potentially the guy in AEW. Like, I could see him being the next world champion. I guess we could potentially see an upset, maybe a shocking result, maybe a roll-up or small package or something, and Jungle Boy wins. But I think MJF should keep his momentum going, and AEW should start building him towards being the top guy in the company. Homegrown talent, make him the man. I think he's the closest thing to being a top homegrown star that they have right now. Virtue, let's start with you on this one. I'm going with MJF to win. What do you think?
This is an easy one. MJF needs to go over here, right? Building him as a monster, potentially top heel in the company. He's got to win, but you can have Jungle Boy look really good the whole match. This is that whole thing where the babyface doesn't need to win if he has a really good showing in the match. And that's what wrestling fans like, and that's what AEW mostly is. So that's what's going to happen. Jungle Boy is going to look awesome. MJF will be good too, but he's going to luck into that win. You know how he does. It's going to be that heel win. He's going to trip and, land on Jungle Boy, and that's how he's going to get the win, something like that. And that's all I need to do is pick the winner, right?
Brass nuts.
MJF.
Maybe the dynamite ring, something. He could use any number of tactics to win. Noah?
Yeah.
And literally, you took the words out of my mouth. I sensed 42K punch, and honestly, this is probably the easiest match for me to call. MJF's got to go over here. I see him potentially being the one to become the next AEW champion. That's how much I'm invested, and I feel AEW is also invested in this man. MJF for the win.
All right, Colin, want to go against the grain?
No, MJF all day. He's the best heel in professional wrestling today, in my opinion. This is his first match back from injury, correct? Or second match back from injury, right? Since he got wrote off or whatever. So, yeah, of course. I mean, Jungle Boy, not taking anything away from the kid, but he's going to look great, that's for sure. But MJF in the end.
All right. Now we move on.
Keep in mind, he's also undefeated. And keep in mind, MJF's also undefeated this year, too. So, of course, he's also going to be spewing that toward this match as well and promoting that after this match too with a record of 4-0.
I'm
Jungle
sure
Boy
he
has yet
will.
to get a win.
Not knowing MJF, he will definitely make a big deal out of it. All right, now we move on to maybe the most anticipated match of the show, and it's one that was just added to the card. It's the Stadium Stampede match. We have the Inner Circle versus the Elite. Unfortunately, it's not the Blood and Guts match, but I think it's a nice next big thing, next best thing that they could possibly do. You got the Jaguars Stadium there, which is adjacent to Daly's place, so why not use it? Why not take advantage of it? We've seen empty arena matches before, but empty stadium matches, they're pretty rare to my recollection. I mean, maybe there was a couple many years ago, but nothing that I fondly remember. So this is going to be a pretty interesting match, and if it's anything like what we saw on Dynamite a couple weeks ago with that street fight that went all over Daly's place, like this could be a really fun match to watch, and I suspect this might be the most entertaining match of the show. So, Colin, let's start with you. Your thoughts on this match taking place. It's not blood and guts, but it does have a lot of potential to be a very entertaining spectacle. So what do you think is going to happen here?
It does have a lot of potential to be awesome because the things that these guys have been doing. I mean, just look at the last couple of weeks when you had the golf cart and then you have Jericho taking out the drone. Like, I wonder how many drones Matt Hardy is going to have set up around his building, you know? And the talent is stacked. But in the end, I'm going to have to give it to the Inner Circle. As much as I would love to see Matt Hardy and the boys get over, the Inner Circle is hot. And it's a awesome faction. I don't know how, by hook or by crook, whatever that old saying is, but I see the Inner Circle taking it over. But I'm intrigued to see what they do through this whole stadium. And every time I hear stadium, all I think of is like, you know, Canadian Stampede back in the day. But
Curtis Butler brought up 1981 empty stadium, Jerry Lawler versus Terry Funk. So there you go. I figured there might have been one or two way back in the day. Psycho Jet Black with the $2 super chat says, what should AEW do different from Edge versus Randy Orton? Are you talking about the WrestleMania match, or are you talking about the greatest wrestling match of all time, which we haven't seen yet? But anyways, Virtue, what are your thoughts on this match? What do you think they should do different from Edge and Orton?
Well, it's going to be different. It's in a football stadium, not a performance center. So they just need to go with the natural contour of the stadium. So Inner Circle won that match when Jericho got the pin, I think, the street fight. And then, of course, he destroyed the drone. So this is a classic heel group getting built up, make people pay the $50 to see the Elite win. It doesn't matter who wins or loses this match, in my opinion, because it's going to be so crazy. Matt Hardy's involved. It's going to be great. Jericho's involved. But I think the Elite is going to win this match. It's that classic. The heels have looked pretty good throughout this feud. Boom, you pay it off by having the baby faces win at the pay-per-view in the big match. It just sucks there can't be fans there because it would really make this one better. But I'm going to say the Elite win the match.
All right, Noah.
Gotta agree. Again, it's basically what you would think Blood and Guts would be. The Elite's big moment, finally defeating this triumphant faction that seems unstoppable and unbreakable. The Elite needs a win finally in this feud. Gotta go with them on this one. Plus, you gotta imagine, with the destruction of Vanguard 1 and the fact that Matt Hardy's there as well, there's gonna be some surprises from the Elite finally too, because they really haven't pulled anything out to surprise us, unlike the Inner Circle. Gotta go with the Elite.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I think they just got to wrap this storyline up because this was a storyline that got started before everything went crazy. And I think it would be best to just let the Elite win, and then down the line, maybe you could revisit this feud, or maybe there'll be somebody else for the Elite to feud against, and you can do two different teams for Blood and Guts. But I think they got to wrap this up and let this be the blow-off to the feud for now. And Brittany brought up maybe Hangman could pull a Kurt Hennig from War Games and betray them. I mean, there's always a possibility, but I think now, because of the circumstances, I think AEW's got to go in a different direction, and you just don't know what the future is with the current circumstances. So I think it's best to wrap up the storyline and not try to do too many swerves and whatnot when you really don't know like who's going to be available, who's going to be able to be part of the storyline moving forward. Like Adam Page and the Young Bucks, they haven't been on TV really since this all went down. So they might only be coming in to do this one match and then they're going to be gone again. So I think the safe bet is that the Elite win this one. And now we move on to our two big matches of the evening. Well, that one was a pretty big one. So our two big title matches, I should say. The first one is for the TNT Championship. We have Cody versus Lance Archer in the finals of the tournament. And it was announced last Wednesday that Iron Mike Tyson will be showing up to present the championship to the winner. Interesting development here. Noah, let's start with you on this one. And I'll ask you this question. With Mike Tyson presenting the title to the winner, is that changing your original thought process on who was going to win? Has that influenced your decision at all? Because with Mike Tyson being there, this is going to give AEW some publicity. Now, the question is Cody going to be there front and center for this publicity, or is AEW going to have Mike Tyson raise the hand of this dastardly heel? Like, how are you feeling about this one?
Well, I feel like if people were there, I could definitely see Mike Tyson influencing my decision in this match. But honestly, I just see Mike Tyson there just supporting AEW. I just don't see right now without people there some big angle being pulled off in this match. And honestly, because Cody can't technically challenge for the AEW World Championship, and this is a network-driven title, I feel like you would put it on the network-driven man. So regardless of Mike Tyson being there, Cody is my pick to win this. He also has a better record, 9-1, and he's currently ranked number 1 in AEW. So against Lance Archer, number 2, I got to go with Cody for the win here, even with Mike Tyson being there. As far as someone getting knocked out like a WrestleMania spot, maybe, but I don't see it influencing the match's decision.
Well, I mean, people were asking about Jake Roberts. Adrian said, can Jake do a DDT? I don't think Jake can take any bumps, and I don't think that would be a good idea. Otherwise, you could have Mike Tyson punch out Jake Roberts. That might be fun. Virtue, what do you think is going to happen?
You can't put it on Cody yet. You have to make him chase it. And Lance Archer has come in as this monster, unstoppable force with the evil mind of Jake behind him. So he has to win this. He has to beat Cody. Mike Tyson being there to present the title now, if Lance Archer does win, will create some tension. Imagine Mike Tyson having to give that title to Lance Archer. He wants nothing to do with Mike Tyson. There's going to be tension. If Cody wins it, hey, well, they can have that feel-good moment. But that's something you do when you have people there, a crowd there. There's no crowd. So you have to me, put it on Lance Archer. Create the tense moment with Tyson. And it could be like dirty somehow. Jake pulls the rope, something. So Cody can then chase Lance Archer for that title and win it actually on an episode of Dynamite on TNT. That's how I would do it. So I'm going with Lance Archer becoming the champion.
All right. Well, Psychojet Black sent in a $2 super chat, says Archer will win because Cody is not Jeff Jarrett. Well, we'll see.
I think Cody wins it, but I think he chases it, and he wins it on actual TNT.
Chase continues
with people when they can actually do that. That's what I think.
What I think is going to happen is I would like to see Lance win because I think he needs it more, and I think he should not be losing at this stage of the game. However, I have a feeling Cody is winning this one. He was my initial prediction for this in the beginning, but now that Mike Tyson's there, I think when it comes to the publicity, I think more media outlets will cover this if it's Mike Tyson with the son of Dusty Rhodes. A lot of people don't know Cody outside of the wrestling bubble, but they know the Rhodes name. And I think if media reporters see Cody Rhodes, the son of Dusty, with Mike Tyson, that's a headline. They're going to mark out for that, especially the old-time reporters that grew up on Dusty Rhodes. So I think AEW will get more headlines if Cody wins this match, and I think publicity is important. So I'm going with Cody to win, although my own personal preference would be Lance. Colin, what do you think?
Put the belt on the heel and have the face chase him. Lance Archer should be the one to pick up the title. I mean, I don't know. Maybe there could be some swerve with Mike Tyson. Maybe Mike Tyson could pull a swerve, knocks out Arn Anderson, something like that in the process. But I am going Lance Archer all day.
Nice pick.
And Brittany said, is Tyson going to say Cody's name right? We saw how he said Steve Austin's name at WrestleMania with the whole Cold Stone. Nice.
Ouch.
All right, we got our last match, our final match for AEW Double or Nothing. It is for the AEW World Championship. Jon Moxley versus Brodie Lee. Some people have felt that maybe it's too soon for Brodie Lee to be challenging for the world title, and maybe AEW has backed themselves into a creative corner here because one could argue it's too soon for Jon Moxley to lose the title. But at the same time, you don't want Brodie Lee losing in his first big pay-per-view match. So, Colin, we'll start with you on this one. Do you think we'll have a new AEW World Champion?
I do not. I somehow see Jon Moxley retaining the championship. I feel like it's a little too soon to get a new champion, to be honest with you. Brodie Lee does not have to take a pin. It can be a DQ. It could be the Dark Order could pull a swerve, and he could just disappear. Something, who knows? But I don't think it's too early for him to challenge for the championship. But I don't see them taking the title off of Moxley right now. Especially, you made the guy the guy had a debut in front of nobody. Let's not make him win the championship in front of nobody. It's my opinion. Brodie Lee deserves way more than that.
Yeah, I think that's a good point there. I lean against title changes during this era anyways because there are no fans. So when in doubt, I go with the champion retaining, and that's what I'm doing here. And I don't think it's going to be a DQ. AEW is not really known for doing these DQ finishes on pay-per-views. I think for the most part, all the finishes have been pinfall or submission on the AEW pay-per-views. Especially when people are paying $50, I just don't think it's a good idea to not give people conclusive finishes when they're paying that much money to see something decisive. Adrian sent in a $2 super chat, says, Eric Redbeard Rowan will give assist to Brodie Lee. He's not going to be there because of the non-compete, but maybe we will see him at some point. Anyways, Virtue, what are your thoughts on this one?
Colin, it's all right you call him Dean Ambrose. That's how he made his initial big bank, by the way, on that name. So that's kind of like his big mainstream name. But, yeah, Moxley's going to retain here. Don't know how. I actually like Brodie Lee coming in and getting a strong push. But, yeah, you just can't take the title off Moxley right now. And I think there'd be some negative feedback by putting it on the leader of the Dark Order. Nothing against Brodie Lee, but the Dark Order was – before he came, people made fun of it. So it hasn't had enough time to get its Brodie Lee traction yet. So with that said, Mox is going to retain. He has to retain. It's kind of like what Aaron said with the other match. I feel like if, I'd like to see Brodie Lee win the title here, but you got to play smart and sensible. So Moxley should retain. That's my pick.
All right. So Moxley all around so far. Noah, what do you think?
First off, to correct you, gentlemen, it's Mr. Brodie Lee. And I
Mr. McMahon, like Mr. McMahon?
Well, I mean, so far, we've seen I'm not going to argue against that. Anyway, Brodie Lee, 4-0, ranked number 4. Jon Moxley, he's had the title for only 79 days. Too soon. Save it for a bigger moment. Mr. Brodie Lee is doing what he can to actually make people care about the Dark Order. And Jon Moxley's doing fine as champion. Jon Moxley's retaining all the way.
All right. And, we have a super chat here from something I'm not going to repeat. Something about a rectum says, Virtue is the GOAT. So there you go.
I thought that was Jericho.
Well, Virtue's the GOAT in a different way. He's the GOAT of NoDQ.com as far as trolling people goes. He is the troll slayer.
You mean telling the cold hard truth that not many people have the balls to say? Oh, that's trolling?
Pretty much.
Okay. All right.
All right, so that wraps it up for our thoughts on AEW Double or Nothing. It's this Saturday. Make sure you guys check out NoDQ.com. If you're not able to watch the show, I will be doing live results coverage. Let's go ahead and do our plugs. Colin, we'll start with you.
All right. You guys can find me on YouTube at the Cleaver Colin Andrew. NoDQ.com/Colin takes you to my Twitter page. And support our friends Stefan and Jerry at Aftermatch Wrestling. Thanks for having me on tonight, guys.
All right, not a problem. Thank you for being on. It was a pleasure. Noah,
Always.
what do you got for your plugs?
I'll try and keep it simple. Good luck, gentlemen. This was a lot of fun. Let's try and do this going forward with AEW. People, you want to know more about me behind the scenes? Know this. I'm just a simple man and a lifelong fan of wrestling. Look me up on Twitter, nodq.com/Noah. Take to my Twitter page. Adam Fox1916 on Instagram. A simple YouTube channel, youtube.com/user/NoahFox210. I do AEW discussions every week on Dark and Dynamite, as well as talk all things wrestling beyond WWE, NJPW, NWA, and more. And that's all I have to say. So keep supporting NoDQ. And also, Aaron, there is a separate entity in NoDQ called Team NDQ. We do have a separate league where we discuss AEW and other promotions too. But I have no problem starting something like this with the official team too. Take care, folks.
It's up to what the rest of the team wants to do as far as the predictions go. And Psycho Jet Black with a $2 super chat says Rift Aronson makes more appearances than EC3.
Probably right.
EC3. I mean, if he was eligible to be on this show, maybe we would see him. Although I think there's a better chance of him going to Impact at this point. All right, Virtue, let's go ahead and get your plugs in.
All right, you can follow me on Twitter at NoDQ_Virtue. I've been putting videos up with Big Vito every week, so go to the NoDQ opinions page, and I put video or audio up there. And, of course, the NoDQ review live every Thursday night at 7 p.m. So in 2 more days, we will be back doing this week's NoDQ review live. So that's all I got, Aaron.
All right, thank you guys so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for the very latest wrestling news. Take care, everybody. Be safe and stay positive.